It is a beautiful day in Abu Dhabi. Hello, this is Lisa Grace. Welcome back to the Teach Middle East podcast. Today I am happy. You know, I'm always happy. If every time I introduce the podcast, I'm either delighted or I'm happy. So people are like, "What is it with you? You only have two emotions." But for real, I am delighted to have Albie Huyser on the podcast. She is the new principal of GEMS Founders School in Masdar City, and that is in the beautiful city of Abu Dhabi. And you guys know how I go on about my love for Abu Dhabi. Well, Albie is my neighbor, and we're going to chat it up on the podcast. Welcome, Albie.
Thank you so much, Lisa, and I'm delighted to be here. Thank you for the opportunity.
They're going to say you're delighted as well.
I know. I also only have two emotions, happy and happier. So it's fine. We will both be happy and delighted today.
I know. Welcome. It was such a pleasure meeting you and Rihan at the BSME conference in person. And you know, it's funny because you know names and photos and LinkedIn, but to meet you in person was such a delight.
No, thank you. It was lovely to see you, and it's always great to network with other people who put children first, and who feel that education is important. So thank you. It was so lovely to see you there in Doha.
Doha. Yes, thank you. So, a massive undertaking. GEMS Founders School Mazda. What does it feel like to be opening a massive, brand new, state of the art, sustainable school in the capital city?
It is an amazing feeling, but Lisa, of course, my stomach is turning because I want to make it perfect, and I want to have a great school for my students and for my teachers and for my parents. And this is not the first school that I'm opening; it's actually the third school here in the UAE. So 10 years ago, when I arrived in the UAE, I was the founding vice principal with Rebecca Plaskett when we opened GEMS Cambridge International in Abu Dhabi. And then 5 years ago, I was appointed as the principal of James Cambridge Sharjah, where I had 5 absolutely wonderful years. I loved every minute of the day. And now I have this wonderful opportunity provided by James to open another school in James here in Abu Dhabi. So I think it's almost the more you know you don't know, because I am anxious, but I'm so excited, and I know I can bring that knowledge and expertise that I've built up over the past 10 years to make founders an amazing opportunity and a place for my students and myself.
So, for you to be ready to open this school, that means you must have been on a journey of learning and discovery. So, we're going to go all the way back today, Albie. We're going to take it to growing up. Where did you grow up and where did you go to school?
So I was born in South Africa, and everybody, the moment you say you were born in South Africa, people ask, were you born in Cape Town or in the Cape Province? I was born on the opposite end of South Africa, very close to the border of Zimbabwe, close to the Kruger National Park. And so I was born there and did my schooling there. I was raised in a very rural area on a farm. So I had my childhood, I had to go to boarding school from the age of 7 because we were so far from any town. And it was just me and my sister and my mom and dad. Had a wonderful childhood, but yeah, I think I had to be resilient and strong from a very early age. And I do believe, that has helped me to be the person that I am today.
Brilliant. So you are a boarding school girl like myself.
Yeah,
So you know how to fold your clothes, you know how to keep it
exactly.
neat, you know how
Yes,
to apportion your tuck in your top box so it doesn't run out.
exactly. No, it is definitely made you strong, hasn't it? It's a wonderful opportunity, but yes, I really think, and from such a young age, it has really helped me to be independent and to be resilient and to not take no for an answer. In throughout my career, most of my schooling was in South Africa, but then we moved to the UK. So most of my teaching career was in the UK. And again, teaching in challenging schools, and I know you also know very well of challenging schools. It really makes you strong. And when I arrived, um, in the UAE 10 years ago, I just felt so ready, and I felt so fortunate to be here in the UAE and have these opportunities to work in a school where children really want to work, and to work for a company that puts education first. So I think it has prepared me throughout my life for being now where I am at this moment and at this very exciting time in my life.
Brilliant. So, what did you teach?
So I was a history and English teacher. And then when I moved to the UK, I started with religious studies. And little did I know that it was not the favorite subject of most students in the UK. So it was a huge shock for me, but it was wonderful. If I think how it was when I just arrived in the UK, I taught in a school on the outskirts of London, close to Heathrow. So we had a very large population of traveler students, and it took time to win their trust. They were used to teachers moving in and out of the school every second week. So Rian and I, my husband, have been there for 12 years. And it was wonderful to see how the school also grew from a failing school in special measures, to one of the top 100 most improved schools in London by the time we left. So it was amazing to be in that journey as well. It was one of the first academies that was opened in London. So again, building that trust, learning from other colleagues, of course, you need them and they have been amazing. And then from the students. So religious studies and then philosophy and ethics. So not your normal subjects that students would choose, but I was so proud of them. My students did so well, and it has really taught me a lot as well.
Can you imagine being in West London trying to teach kids about religion? That must have been a baptism of
Oh,
fire.
it was. Oh my goodness. I came as a naive NQT from South Africa, where everybody is, so well behaved, and a teacher just has that respect automatically because you're a teacher. Oh my goodness, and I had to start all over again in the UK. But look, it was amazing, and we persevered there for 12 years in the same school, so that it just shows you that no matter in which school you are, you learn to adapt, you are flexible, and you learn to love the children. And by the time we left, it was very hard for us to say goodbye to the children and to the staff.
I can imagine at one point in time when we couldn't find religious studies teachers, I taught religious studies. And listen, it's confession time, people. I literally go into the classroom, shut the door. I told the kids, you're supposed to have religious studies, but I was also their English teacher, and I literally taught them English. And what I did to appease my conscience, listen, guys, oh, my former principal, Alex, you listen to the podcast. You can't fire me now, though, can you? Um, so what I did was I would read texts that were more religious in nature, and then we would break them down for the language devices and things that we were studying in English. That's how we got through it. So I said to the kids, do well in this class, and then I'll make sure you reap the rewards in English. We had to do what we had to
Clever,
do.
very clever.
So tell me, what made you move to the UAE?
10 years ago, we just shared our CVs on the James portal, and we were invited for an interview. So to be honest with you, 10 years ago, we knew about Dubai, but didn't really know a lot about the UAE and about Abu Dhabi. But then when we arrived here, we came for an interview in May over that May holiday, bank holiday. And we just fell in love with the place. We absolutely love, especially Abu Dhabi. I feel exactly the same as you. I commuted for 5 years from Abu Dhabi to Sharjah on a daily basis because I love my school so much in Sharjah, but I also love my home in Abu Dhabi. So yes, I don't know why. I think if you just arrive in Abu Dhabi, you just love the place and you don't want to go anywhere else. So yes, it was. We didn't specifically apply for Abu Dhabi, but it just worked out like that. And here we are, 10 years later, still in Abu Dhabi.
I know Abu Dhabi gets you. All the people who are like so Dubai, Dubai. Abu
Yeah,
Dhabi is the more sophisticated. Guys, don't come at me. I didn't make the place nicer. It just is. Tell me then, Abby, when you think about your career, what do you think are some of the pivotal moments that has led you to this point, about to open a brand new big school?
Well, that is a very deep question. And I think, again, my time in the UK has really prepared me and guided me. I had an amazing principal, Lynn Gadd. She was such a mentor to me, and I've learned so much from her. And I was really inspired by her to take on leadership roles. As I said, we started at the bottom when we went to the UK, from NQT, and worked ourselves up as head of department, my husband and I, and assistant principal, vice principal. And then when it came to the role, of head of school in the UK, we decided, okay, let us rather move, because she also retired at that time, and it was a time, should we stay on in the school, should we move on? So I definitely think learning from her and working with her. And then again, here in the UAE, lots of opportunity to learn, lots of opportunity to grow, and I think that is the beauty of GEMS. As I said, I've been in the company for 10 years, and there are so many opportunities of growth and support. The fact that we are now at a place where we have 44 schools that belong to, under the GEMS umbrella, it is amazing to have that input from other principals. I'm very excited to work with Matthew Burfield. I mean, of course, he is such a mentor and such a role model for all of us. And now to open the founder school. So I would say pivotal moment in my life has been meeting people and being influenced and mentored by people. And again, I think in your as a person, you also grow. It is amazing to have. I mean, we all have had difficult times in our lives, and it's those difficult times that make you stronger, and it helps you to see that you can. Sometimes I think people feel, oh my goodness, this is too much, but then you pick yourself up and you go again. So I think hard times throughout everybody's lives really helps us to be strong and to be ready for the next challenge and the next adventure.
So, in terms of going into a leadership role, because you've just said something about picking yourself up, what would you say to maybe an aspiring leader or somebody who is looking at you and thinking, wow, I would love to one day be at that position? How would you encourage them to take steps to get there?
First of all, Lisa, it's your relationship with people and with your team. I cannot do this job without my team. I had an amazing team in Cambridge, Abu Dhabi. I had an amazing team in Cambridge, Sharjah, for the past 5 years. And now I know I'm going to have an amazing team in Masdar City. You cannot do it without your team. Relationships are so important. We cannot do this job on our own, and we need our team to work with us. So I would say having those relationships with staff and also treat others the way you want to be treated. I love the quote of Maya Angelou that says, people will forget what you said and how did you act, but they will never forget how you made them feel. And for me, my staff, my team, how do I make them feel on a daily basis? How do I treat others when I'm maybe not in the right frame of mind? Do I take my frustrations out on other people? Do my team always feel valued and supported? And I think that if you ask me what is the most important characteristic of a leader, is how they treat their team and how they treat their people. So that would be my advice. Think about your relationships, think about how you work with people and how you make others feel.
Excellent. And when you think about your legacy, so you're leaving GEMS Cambridge in Sharjah and you're moving to GEMS Founders, what do you think your legacy will be at GEMS Cambridge Sharjah?
Oh, wow. I hope my staff would say that, I treated them fairly, I treated them with respect. And I was very emotional, when I left my school at the end of March. And I've just actually started on the 1st of April with my new role. And so it was very emotional for me. My husband said, oh, stop it, Albie, move on, but I love my school so much. And because I was there, as the founding principal and was there from day one, it's very hard for me to let go. And because I just think, it is such an important part of my life. I have grown as a leader. I have seen how my teachers and my leaders have grown. I'm so proud of them. They've done an amazing job. So I do hope that they say, that I was always respectful, that I was always supportive, and that I valued them as people, and not just what can I get out of them, but that they feel that I've invested in them as well. I hope they
Brilliant.
say that. I hope when they listen to the podcast, they say, yes, that's true, Albie.
I know a few of them. I know a few of the staff there, so I'll send it to them and see if they
Yes,
concur.
let them verify if it's true.
I know. But when you think of the whole leadership of schools and the challenges it actually faces, because it is not rosy, like it is not all sunshine and roses. What are some of the things you find challenging as a leader?
I think just to have clarity on what we should be doing. Since school, I've always been somebody that wants to follow rules, and I was the one sitting in front of the class and listening to the teacher and put my hand up. So I was not naughty at all. I can't say the same of my husband because we were in the same school and he was always naughty. And I'm joking. That's also not true. Rian wasn't that naughty, but I was always in the front of class wanting to do the right thing, wanting to please my teachers. And I think as a leader, if things change and we are not clear on that can be challenging because you want to do the right thing, but you have to have the right guidance. And living in the UAE is such an amazing opportunity, but we know rules change, and policies change all the time. And I think that is it, especially opening with this new school. I'm extremely excited because ADIC is definitely supporting the principals, and I've been to a few meetings already where they discuss policies and expectations. So I'm very grateful for that. But it is important that you know where you should be going and doing the right thing. And for a leader, especially a new leader or leader just coming into the UAE, it can be challenging because there are different rules. And it's not that people don't want to follow the rules, but sometimes people can be oblivious or, not aware of the rules. And I think that would be one of the challenges, I would say.
Yeah, and we all know that, I've worked at ADEC, so I know that sometimes the rules change, but the change you're not given ample notice, and so tomorrow is the implementation of the actual change that you were notified. So that's actually a good one to think about.
And what I can just
Sorry.
say, Lisa, is just to add to that, I'm very grateful for ADIC. At the moment, they're having meetings with all the principals where they share the new policies. So there are 39 new policies that hasn't been published yet, but they are sharing that with the principals so that we can prepare ourselves. And that's a wonderful thing. I think that's such a huge, positive point of ADIC at the moment. And it's wonderful. I've met with some wonderful people in ADIC as well, and they are open and they are willing to work with us. So I know it was the same in Sharjah. Having SPIA there, it was fantastic. We were so blessed to have an educational department that are open and willing to listen and willing to work. So I'm really lucky. First in SPIA and now back in Abu Dhabi with ADIC, that people are definitely moving forward and want to change that culture of not knowing. And as you say, that last minute changes. So I can definitely see since I've been in Abu Dhabi 5 years ago and now that there's definitely an improvement.
Yeah, I think there is, and I love to see that progression and how things are actually moving in the right direction. So, two of you, Rian, because I met your husband, Rian, and two principals. What do two principals do when they're not at school
Oh
to
my goodness.
to chill out and relax? Because I cannot
What
imagine.
Yeah, what we do and what we shouldn't do. We talk about school all the time, and then Rian tells me, "Come on, Ovi, we can't talk about school anymore." But it is because we don't have children of our own. We always say when children ask us, "Where are your children?" We always say, "You are our children." We've got 4,000 children between us in the two schools. And so it is hard not to talk about school because your whole life is about that and you want to be the best you can. But it's also amazing because we can share ideas and we can bounce off ideas off each other. But if you ask us if we don't talk about school, we play golf. I'm not a good golfer. Rian is the good golfer. But I play golf and that's wonderful. And we do love going out and, going to nice restaurants and enjoy time with our friends. But yeah, most of the time we talk about school.
So, Albie and Rianne, we need to get your conversation game
Yeah,
up because you cannot simply swap notes. Can you imagine? Like, oh, guess what happened at my school? Or guess what happened? Do you know what? That is one of the key reasons I deliberately tried my best not to marry a teacher because I just could not deal with it. But the crazy thing is my husband was a teacher, but before we met,
yeah.
he switched. He went back to uni and studied finance and accounting. So at least by the time I met him, his whole he's scrapped that part of his life. Because can you imagine you're there at dinner and you're thinking, oh, you know what happened today? And you guys are just simply swapping notes, but about the same industry.
That is what happens. Oh my goodness. But it's also, it is also a good thing because we have empathy for each other and we understand each other. So it is a good thing. And Rian and I have been together since school. So we were in the same school, we went to the same uni. Our first 17 years of teaching, we were in the same school. So I think it depends on, your relationship. I know some people say, oh my goodness, I would never be able to work with my partner, with my husband or my wife. But and it's actually nice as well that we can share ideas and, as you said, compare notes and get great ideas. If I'm like stuck, then I can ask Rian and he can ask me. Yeah. So it is exciting, but yeah, we need to stop talking about school.
But you have the same holidays, so that means you get to travel together. Where have
Yes.
you been that is spectacular that you would love
Oh,
to either return or just have it as a pivotal memory?
oh, we have such wonderful memories, and especially when we're in the UK, we traveled so much. And since we have been here, we've been amazing places. I think one place that stands out in my mind is Mexico. We had a fantastic time in Mexico, and everything just worked out beautifully, and it was an amazing place where we were. But then other places, Argentina also stands out in my mind. We've had a fantastic time there, and then, of course, to go to the Far East to have that opportunity to see Cambodia, Vietnam, and Thailand. I think it's now on our doorstep. When we were in the UK, it was quite far to travel, but now we have that opportunity to see all those beautiful places. So yes, my list is endless. We love traveling, and we have seen so many beautiful places, and we still want to see places.
What's on your list this summer, or will you be even getting any time this
I
summer?
know that's it. Yes. So I don't have summer plans. My first priority is to get the school ready for our students. But yes, the future definitely on our list of places to visit is Japan and Korea and Taiwan. I would love that is on our bucket list for the future. The school must just be ready and everything must be settled, and then we'll definitely travel next year again.
So as we're talking about the school, tell us about it. What is going to be some of the unique things that GEMS Founders Abu Dhabi is going to offer?
Lisa, it's going to be amazing. We have the strap line of sustainability. So it's one of
Wow.
my colleagues that had this great idea. We're going to put together sustainability and how wonderful to be in the heart of Masdar City and have all those wonderful opportunities for our students. But then also work on innovation. So sustainability and innovation, our strap line is sustainability. And it is going to be a British curriculum school. And so we are going to focus on the national curriculum for England subjects. But what we really look forward to, and we can't wait to have our students in school, is to share with them that love for the environment, that opportunity for each one of us, no matter if we're in FS or in year 13, we have a role to play. And not only sustainability when it comes to recycling and making sure that, we don't waste any electricity, but it's about stewardship. That is the most important thing for me about that school. And I hope when you come and visit and when people come to visit, they will feel that when you walk into GFA, that we are focusing on the values. We have to be kind, we have to be honest, we have to have that integrity, we have to have the respect for ourselves and for our friends, for our environment. And then, of course, here in the UAE with the year of sustainability, it's perfect for us to open the school as well in this year and the planet. So for me, that stewardship, our responsibility to what we have to do, that will be something unique because many schools are focusing on sustainability. I'm not claiming at all that we will be, the first or the only school, But what I really hope is that stewardship in whatever we do, and that students will have that eagerness to make a difference, and that they will feel that not the heaviness or the burden of looking after the earth and oh my goodness, look how terrible it is, but the excitement and the passion to make a difference in this world, and specifically here in the UAE.
Brilliant. And what's the enrollment looking like, and what are your ideal
Very,
numbers?
very good. We're very excited. We had another open day on Saturday. We see parents on a daily basis. As I said, I've just been in the office and we meet parents. So we're doing really well. I'm very proud of our school. And we want to aim to get 900 students, but we are very close to that. And we're very excited to keep that number rolling. But we're also very conscious. In the first year, we will be opening from FS1 to year 8. And we want to take the school like we've done with the other two very successful founders branches in Dubai. We want to take it year by year and build on that legacy of founders, but also have that unique opportunity of Masdar City that's on our doorstep. And yeah, the full capacity is more than 4,000. So again, it will be a very large school with hopefully many, many happy children and teachers in the school.
Amazing. What is the fee point for GEMS
And it's
founders?
really affordable. And I think that is the beauty again of the founders model and why it has been so successful. So we started 26,000 for FS, and we're up to 34,000 for year 8. So again, parents are very excited because there are, of course, many other British schools in the area, and they all have the unique selling points, and there's wonderful people there as well. But I think for that price point in Masdar City, having our parents from Khalifa City and the neighboring areas, they are very excited. This afternoon, again, I had a family of 4 that are so excited and said, to think, we have 4 siblings, but it's something that we can afford. It's not extortionate prices. And that's sometimes from the premium schools that they have to pay. But again, as I said, I also said to the principals that I've met at ADIC meetings, and there's a place in the sun for each one of us, isn't it? And there's a place in the sun for each school. I always feel that schools should also show that kind of respect and support to each other. It doesn't matter if we're a GEM school or a non-GEM school. We are all in this business to make a difference in children's lives. So I know the right children will come at the right time, and we will make a difference in those children's lives.
Yeah, I believe that as well. I believe there is space for everybody. Abu Dhabi is growing and expanding a
It is.
lot.
Yeah, it is amazing. I mean, even the roads, if you see how they improve the road works and build bridges, I mean, Sharjah is, oh, isn't it a hub of excitement? And
Yes.
we had an ADIC meeting there last week in the Louvre. Oh my goodness. And that was fantastic. Just the opportunities we have for our children and all the cultural events that are taking place on our doorstep. And I think it's amazing. I've spoken to friends and some people who went back to the UK, and actually some of them are coming back. I've employed some of them that are coming back from the UK, and they just say once you've been here, it's so difficult to go back, isn't it? And to really be content with the weather and the circumstances in the UK once you've tasted the sun and the excitement of the UAE.
I know. 14 years in, and I still don't have a return date. I mean, my return date to the UK, I think, will coincide with my boys' entry to university because I'm such a like a, helicopter mom. I don't think I'm a helicopter mom, but I'm very close to my boys. I mean, they're all I have
Um,
really, apart from my husband. So when it comes to returning, I think as soon as they say, "Oh, we're heading off to school," I'll be right behind them with my little bag because I'm like, what am I going to do with my life if I don't have to take care of you? So I'll probably be somewhere in a town close by so I can
yeah.
wash and cook for them while they're at uni.
Oh, I'm sure they'll appreciate that. I'm sure.
Or not, you don't know my boys. They'll probably be like, "No, mom, you need to stay where you are." No, but
Yes.
it's been really good talking to you on the pod. But before we wrap up the pod, with a school that is touting sustainability, which by the way, very clever, whoever came up with that. What are your hopes for going forward as it relates to teaching and learning, student involvement in all things school? what do you see as the ideal going forward?
Lisa, it doesn't matter how hard we work on making sure that, all the other things are good. Academic excellence is our first priority. And I think any parent, they are so excited when I meet with them and we talk about the possibilities of the school. But I know deep down they want to make sure that our school will provide that, that outstanding education that we are known for. My school in Sharjah did amazing. James, is well known for their outstanding education. So that is my first priority. Of course, children need to be safe, children need to be happy. But when it comes to this, I'll be moving forward. It's that from that day one, we have to ensure that there is academic excellence and rigor. So my teachers are amazing, and I appoint each one myself. I handpick. I like to tell my staff, I handpick them. I do all the interviews myself. And my teachers are from all different parts of the world. I've got some wonderful teachers, lovely teachers that have been in Abu Dhabi already. So I'm really excited because they've got the Abu Dhabi and the ADIC experience. But I also have teachers from across the world that's going to join us that bring fresh ideas and new ideas to the school. So it is so important that we get teaching and learning right from day one, that parents can see a difference in their children's academic progress. And then all the other things. Of course, having those extracurricular activities, having opportunities for children to make a difference in the planet, working very closely with Masdar City, and all the wonderful opportunities that they have. So, but I would say my first step is to make sure, my students get that education that they pay for and that the parents are expected. Another thing that I'm really excited about is my parent community. Again, in Sharjah, I love my parents. We had wonderful, wonderful parent relationship. And that is what I want to bring to Abu Dhabi as well, working closely with the parents. We had, in Sharjah, we had a 400 strong parent committee. Where parents joined us and had participated in what we do on a daily basis, and they felt that they had a say in the school. And that is exactly the same attitude that I want to bring to Abu Dhabi. And I've already met amazing parents. Just today, I met a family where the father works at Zayed University. And I'm so excited that I know they can bring their expertise and meet with our students. So it's the students, number one, making sure that they get that excellent education, my parents, that they feel part of the community, and then have my teachers onboarding them, making sure they feel part of our team, having the right professional development, and make sure that they offer that outstanding education for our students.
Amazing. That is such a fabulous place to end the pod. Thank you, Albie.
No, thank you so much for your time. It was so lovely, Lisa, and you are an inspiration to all of us. It's always lovely to listen to your podcast and meet you in person. So thank you for standing up for education. I'm very grateful.
Thank you so much.